But I also wanted to touch base on the aspect of COVID that you brought up because during COVID, yeah, it was crazy because I got my first property, mid COVID, but you had already been in the trenches at that point. So, what was your thought process like once, on the news they were saying, "Oh, it'll be a couple weeks," and then all of a sudden it's turning into months, and then and it just seemed like there was never going to be an end to it. So once you actually noticed and came to that realization, like, hey, this is going to take a little bit longer. They started coming out with all these regulations and moratoriums. What was your mindset? Like, how did you say, all right, I need to sit down and strategize and proceed in this fashion? Like, what was your approach?
Well, the moratorium was already in place when we acquired the building. And so I knew it was going to be potentially a long road to stabilization. Oftentimes, you listen to Bigger Pockets and you get exposed to people who are doing multifamily strategies in other states where it's higher inventory, easy, maybe lower occupancy, where there's more opportunity for tenants to go find another place, or you just say, hey, here's a 1 year lease. After that, it's done. In California, in LA, that isn't the case. Once they're in there, they don't have to leave. Like you, they leave on their own will unless there's an eviction in multifamily. In single family, that's another case. But we knew that these tenants were probably going to stay a long time. They have no incentive to leave. And so the only lever that we could pull is increasing the rents. And, they were significantly under market for these 2 bedroom units. They were at 1,600 initially. Market was around 1950 at the time. Now it's closer to 2,400, which, by the way, the unit that we turned, Penny, who left, we renovated that completely, made it very nice, added in-unit laundry, and are now charging for the garage. So we're getting 2,400 total for that. So it's a big jump, but we had to increase the rents in LA County outside of the LA City. You can do outside of LA City rent control, LA RSO. You can do 5% plus whatever CPI is, up to 10% capped. Initially I think it was 8% in 2021. In 2022 it was close to 10%. In 2023 it was back to like 8%. And we're not going to raise this year, I don't think, because we're over 2,000 and those units aren't updated. So I think if we pushed a little more, some of those tenants may start leaving, and at this point it may not be worth it to us to push those tenants away, because we're going to have to then spend another 25, 30 grand to renovate those units. And so, you have to kind of weigh your options there if you want to spend do the capital improvements, or if you want to just maintain a little bit under market rents. So I think the strategy initially was slow and steady, fix it up as we go, raise rents a couple of times, work with the tenants. Ultimately made sense for us to instead use that money to buy another property and where we can leverage our returns.